Good evening, and welcome to the Lions World Vision Institute's Community of Compassion virtual event in honor of National Eye Donation Month. Tonight, we're gathering together to connect with one another, celebrate eye donation, and honor our donor families, as well as their loved ones, who selflessly gave so others could see. Our donation community is certainly one of compassion, and we're so happy to have you here. My name's Rebecca Grossman. I'm the Family Services Manager, and I'm here in Seattle, Washington. And tonight with me, virtually with me, is James Rosa, our Regional Program Manager in Tampa, Florida. Hello, James.
Hey, Rebecca. Good evening. Hello, everybody. I'm sincerely grateful and honored that you all have joined us this evening from all over the country. Like Rebecca said, I am in Tampa, Florida. I'm a regional program manager based out of Tampa, Florida. So I help facilitate donation with partner agencies and facilitate that gift here in, again, Tampa, Florida. But it's great to know that we have our donor families from coast to coast and in between joining us for our celebration this year. We are so excited to bring everyone together for our 5th annual Community of Compassion event. And really our intention is this evening brings you a sense of hope, a feeling of pride, and a touch of healing as you share this time together.
Yeah, it is hard to believe that it is our 5th one.
I know.
5 years. That is amazing. And also, just a technicality. Actually, Eye Donation Month is in November. We're doing it a little early today to start the celebration. So November is actually Eye Donation Month. We're gathered here to honor those who generously donated their corneas and to celebrate the profound impact their gift has made. Tonight, we are focusing on eye donation, but I want to acknowledge that there are donor families within our community whose loved ones donated their tissue and organs as well. We have so much gratitude for those life-changing gifts, and we're so happy that you're here. This year, the theme of Eye Donation Month is We Can See Clearly Now. This theme emphasized the literal outcome of eye donation, the ability to see, and the figurative outcome of what people experience or see now as a donor family, recipient, or champion of eye donation. So when I think of that theme, We Can See Clearly Now, I think about how donor families may not fully realize just how uniquely donation extends their loved one's legacy. What about you, James? What do you think?
That's absolutely true, Rebecca. I think about that as well. So many times I've seen donor families turn their loved one's loss really into an opportunity to celebrate their legacy and just continue to impact other people's lives in different ways and through different efforts. I mean, it's always very touching and very special to witness that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a really great way of looking at it. Tonight, we're going to feature personal stories of transformation and impact from the donor family and cornea recipient perspective. You're also going to hear from our leadership to learn more about our mission and the transformative impact of donation.
Yes, Rebecca. We will certainly hear many perspectives on donation from our guests tonight. Jason Woody, our CEO, will share additional thoughts of gratitude and his personal commitment to our mission. A story featuring a cornea recipient's journey will be shared, and we'll also hear a very special donor family, Lakeisha, who will share her son Antonio's story. Most importantly, we will honor those who selflessly and compassionately gave so that others can see. A lot of you sent in pictures of your loved one, and we will be presenting them in 3 different slideshows throughout the event. So, and to help Rebecca and me tonight, Lions World Vision Institute's own Jody, Dina, and Sarah are here to chat with you throughout the program and answer any questions in the chat box area. We'd love for you to join in, so please feel free to share your thoughts. Just a few quick notes. You will stay on mute and your camera will be off, so just remember that we can't see or hear you. We are recording the event and we'll email you the link afterward if you'd like to rewatch or share it. We want you to set your view to full view to make sure that you can see both the screen and also the chat box. If any technological issues pop up, thanks in advance for your patience. And if you get logged out, just try hopping back in. We are live, so you can interact with us and each other. The chat box is going to be the primary messaging, so please keep it open. So please join the conversation. We'll ask for your input occasionally, so click the word bubble at the bottom of your screen. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the chat, and we'll do our best to answer. The chat may move quickly, so we'll keep up as best we can. We'll also share our contact info at the end in case you'd like to reach out directly.
People have definitely figured out how to use the chat box. The first year, it was a bit of a challenge. 5 years later, folks know how to use the chat box.
Yeah.
We host this event live with the hope you'll find meaningful connections with one another and us. There's a quote, "We don't heal in isolation, but in community." Tonight's event might evoke a range of emotions, maybe sadness, pride, joy, or even a sense of peace. Whatever you're feeling, it's okay. All emotions are welcome here in the space of understanding and gratitude. Please remember to give yourself grace. Breathe deeply and feel free to lean on our community of donor families and staff. We're here for you. Consider finding comfort in simple things. Cozying up with a favorite blanket, sipping on a drink, a favorite beverage, keeping a photo of your loved one close by, having tissues within reach. If you're on your own tonight, or on your own physically, reaching out to a friend or loved one after the program. We're all walking on this path together. And now, please join me in a moment of silence while we light our memorial candle.
Encendemos esta vela juntos como un acto de unidad y respeto por los generosos donantes, sus vidas, sus actos de amabilidad y sus luces interiores que siguen brillando. Esta llama es una representación de sus legados de generosidad y compasión. Aunque no estemos juntos físicamente, estamos conectados a través de la esperanza y la curación. We light this candle together as an act of unity and respect for the generous donors, their lives, their acts of kindness, and their inner lights that continue to shine on. This flame is a representation of their legacies of giving and compassion. While we are not together physically, we are connected through hope and healing.
Thank you, James. Now we want to hear from you. I've already seen a lot of action in the chat box, but now I want to prompt you a little bit. If you wouldn't mind sharing again, maybe, what is your name, where you live, what is your connection to donation? And if you're a donor family, please share your loved one's name and their relation to you. I think it's really important that we say their names. I know oftentimes people around us are uncomfortable saying our loved ones' names. And so in this space, I'd really love to say those who have passed on, I'd love to say their names. And also, I just want to point out too that a lot of people, like, they may have like two different connections to donation. They may be a staff member and they were a donor family too. So, okay, Annie B. I see Christopher Borba, and that went really quickly. So we have a lot of people, and it's hard to read them.
And Miss Debbie Sankey, she's here to remember her husband of 40 years, Jack. Jack Sankey, thank you so much for being here, Debbie.
My husband, David, was a donor, and he was from Yakima.
And we have a Cody Cody is a donor hero, donated both corneas. Sister.
Janice from Chicago received 2 healthy corneas. Janice, thank you so much for being here. That's wonderful. Laura Smith from Georgia. My husband Dennis donated his corneas. Thank you, Laura, for being here.
We have
Josh. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, Rebecca. Alicia is here. Her daughter Amanda was able to become a donor. So thank you, Alicia. Lynette White, my mama, my best friend, gone too soon.
Chris Miller, my wife Jen donated last November. Thank you for being here, Chris. My husband, Andrew Charles Robinson III, passed away in Kirkland, Washington, and donated his corneas to 2 individuals. Thank you, Leah, for being here.
Thank you. Thank you to Lucy, her husband, Freddie Blondell. So remember him.
Melissa Graff from South Milwaukee, Wisconsin. My husband, Matt Graff, is our donor hero. Oh, my husband Wade was a cornea donor from Sheboygan, Wisconsin. Jane, thanks for being here, Jane. Well, and you know, reading these too, like we just have this community is all over. That's amazing, from Wisconsin to Florida to Washington to Pennsylvania to California and all states in between. That's amazing.
Coast to coast, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much to everybody for sharing. And again, if we couldn't get to your name, I apologize. But we're just so grateful that you're here. I mean, the bond between our donor families is really strong, Rebecca. There's just something so special about how they connect to each other.
Absolutely. It warms my heart to be able to offer families meaningful ways such as this to connect and to create opportunities for our community to come together, such as this one. Throughout history, humans have gathered to mourn, to celebrate, and to remember those we've lost. These rituals are essential parts of the grief journey, and they hold profound significance. Whether through funerals, memorials, or celebrations of life, each form of remembrance brings its own unique meaning. And you know, there's no limit on how often or when these gatherings can take place. This allows people to honor their loved ones as often as they need.
Absolutely. And now I am excited to introduce Jason Woody, our CEO. Jason has been a passionate advocate for organ, eye, and tissue donation for many years. He started at Lions World Vision Institute 34 years ago as an eye recovery technician. So he really understands our mission and values and understands all that it takes to make these gifts possible, including and honoring our donor families and those who gave the gift of sight. Due to Florida region's storm, Jason's schedule was unexpectedly altered, and unfortunately he couldn't join us live. However, he did record a special message to share with all of you.
Hello, my name is Jason Woody, and I'm the President and CEO of Lions World Vision Institute. And I would like to welcome each of you to the call today, as far as that sharing your stories, talking about donation there, and amazing as far as gift that you have given, and the amazing opportunity that has given recipients. Sometimes people will talk about heroes. There, and I will tell you, I think donor families are true heroes. During their probably most difficult time, you were able to think of somebody else there, and that's very difficult. In that level of grief that you're in, you're able to look past that and think of someone else. So I know, as we talk about possibly a fireman, police officer, and of course our military as heroes, I just want you to know I put each of you in that same category there for what it really means to make a difference in someone's life. The theme tonight is, as far as overall, is that, can we as far as I can see clearly now. And, I kind of will switch roles for a second, that I've had the opportunity to be a donor family on 3 different occasions. My grandmother was a donor, older in age, and her eyes were used for research there. She had glaucoma, and she always was the type of person that wanted to help somebody. And she always thought if maybe the research that was done from her tissue would benefit others, including our family, maybe in the future. Sometime later, I lost my 43-year-old sister. She was a school teacher there, and she, as far as has lost her long battle, a very valiant battle with cancer there, and ultimately she succumbed to that, and she was a donor to our program. And lastly, just a year ago, I lost my older sister, and she was 55 years old. And she had an aneurysm in her sleep, and she passed away, and it was obviously very unexpected. And that the clearly part that is kind of reflected is there's definitely a piece of us that is missing after we lose a loved one. There's, our heart's only so big, and there's definitely a piece of that. And for everyone, there that has lost a loved one, if they were a donor or they were not a donor, you've lost that piece. But I think that the side that I can see clearly is that there was a part of that my heart filled by knowing someone received the gift. And I will tell you, it will never replace my loved ones. But what it will do is it filled a little piece of that, there. And so I think it took me a little time. And for some of you, you've lost a loved one currently. For others, you've lost your loved one some time ago. And I hope that you're able to find that as far as from that side, because that's really what I was able to do, that I could clearly feel in my heart that there was someone that had benefited from there. And again, it will never replace the loved ones that we lost, but I know there's someone out there, there's multiple people out there with my family's donations that are living on. And so that helped fulfill a little bit of that piece that is no longer missing. So on behalf of Lions World Vision Institute, I want to thank you for your time. And again, on behalf of the 50,000 cornea recipients each year, I want to thank you as well.
Thank you, Jason. It really takes a village to make donation happen. I don't think people realize how many people it takes to make cornea donation happen. The Lions World Vision staff is truly dedicated to our mission, and we've invited them to share a few words about what they see clearly. We're excited to present this video where some of them will express their perspectives and commitment. Enjoy.
Thank you for giving the gift of sight. In your darkest hour, you are truly someone's silver lining. I can see clearly now that the work we do together is impacting so many, and the times that we have with our loved ones are so much more special.
I want to express my heartfelt gratitude for your generous decision to donate your loved one's corneas. I can see clearly now this generous gift creates a ripple effect of hope and healing within families and communities.
What I would want to say to a family is thank you for making such a tough decision to give the gift of sight. What I can see clearly now is that others truly do not realize the legacy that their loved one has left behind and the lives that will be impacted by the gift of sight that they chose to give. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the gift of sight. I can see clearly now how generous and selfless the donor families truly are.
Thank you for giving someone the chance to see again. I see clearly how the grief on donor family faces turns to joy when they know the loved one's last act is such a powerful gift.
I see clearly now that a simple pair of glasses can change a child's life. Yet not everyone can afford this basic need. If a child can't see, a child can't learn. The Lions World Vision Institute Foundation is grounded in the belief that everyone deserves the gift of sight and is dedicated to vision health equity, particularly in children.
On behalf of the accounting team, thank you for your gift of sight. Thank you for thinking of others during these difficult times.
Thank you for your selfless acts of kindness.
I see clearly that it takes people with big hearts to do this work.
Thank you.
Thank you for supporting donation. I can see clearly now how truly selfless and generous donor families are at a very difficult time.
My name's Sarah Gillespie. I've been in the eye banking industry for over a decade, and it is the donors, their families, and the recipients that allow me to see clearly, to bear witness to the importance of donation and its incredible impact it has on our society. So thank you.
So here at Lions World Vision Institute, we frequently conduct employee surveys, likely just as you do or have done in your workplaces. Time and again, the top reason our team gives for dedicating themselves to this work is our mission. The passion and inspiration behind that commitment comes from you, the donor families. You're hearing it today from me, from James, from Dina, Sarah, Jody, and Justice. But this deep appreciation and dedication truly resonates throughout our entire organization. You inspire us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's all about you, the donor families, and the profound respect and honor we hold for our heroes, your loved ones. Now I have the pleasure of sharing our first tribute video honoring the individuals who made the selfless and compassionate decision to be a donor. There will be 3 donor memorial slideshows throughout the night. So remember, you may not see the photo of your loved one in this segment.
Thank you so much for sharing those, and a reminder that that is just the first one. I feel like what I see clearly now, and I knew this before, but what I see even more clearly is just how much people are so loved.
That is absolutely true. Now, I have the honor of introducing a very special video that features the story of a young man named Antonio. I had the opportunity to meet the mother of Antonio, Lakeisha, and his siblings and aunt earlier this year during Donate Life Florida events. They visited Lions World Vision Institute, and I'm happy to say that Lakeisha is here. She has not seen this video, but we are so grateful to be able to have the opportunity to share this.
And I remember telling him something. I was saying something. I want to say it was something to do with the young lady. And I was like, you make sure you open the door. He goes, Mom, I will hold the door open for her. I will grab her bag. I will make sure she sits down first. When we walk, I'll make sure she's on the inside of me walking. And it's just, I sit back and I'm like, wow, they really do listen to you. They really do listen to you. So that's how I knew he was maturing and growing up and turning into a young man.
I ain't take nobody's phone. Yes, ma'am.
Antonio was the type of person, he knew everybody. He got along with everybody. He just loved being around people. I miss that kid. He just loved his family. He was a hugger. I mean, wherever he went, he hugged everybody. Give that big goofy smile and just hugged you and just let everybody know that he loved them. And he was just a loving kid. He just loved life and he made the best of it no matter what. Making people laugh, people happy, at church, everything. I mean, he was always the center of the attention. Just a big goofball making everybody laugh. Antonio would just, there was never a dull moment. You could be in a room, it could be quiet, Antonio would bust in the room and he would say something crazy or do something crazy and everybody would just start laughing. These kids at such a young age has endured a lot at their age, and to be able to still succeed and go on in life and still be great and do everything, and they still include Tonio in everything. My older daughter, it was her sweet 16th birthday party. We had, I want to say, 6 or 7 girls for a birthday party. Tonio was the only boy. He was always at all her parties. And it's like, these are all girls, and they're like, oh, Tonio can come, Tonio can come. I mean, that was their 16th birthday, and Tonio was the only boy there. And they're like, yeah, of course Tonio can come. I mean, so they just had a bond that nobody could touch. I mean, like I said, that's even with his friends. He just had a special bond with everybody, One of the moms made this. These are all his jerseys from, it's huge now, from football, basketball, it's upside down, wrestling. He loved his sports. Loved his sports. And those kids signing it for me, it was just special. This is very special. I keep it right here on the couch. When I get cold, I just cover up with it. Just a piece of them there with me. They're family. Like I said, it definitely takes a village to raise him, and everybody here is definitely family to me. Definitely. It's a bittersweet place, but also very comforting. Very comforting for me. Very comforting.
The kid was a warrior. He really was. I've never seen anything like it. The day that we left out of this locker room to go out to that field, he knew it was work time. He worked harder than anybody else. Always loved this kid.
So I was telling him to make sure he gets that grade up, and I was just telling him how proud I am of him, the young man he's becoming, and I can't wait to see what he has in store for his future and just how proud of him I am. And he just looks at me and he's just like, "Thank you, Mom, I love you." And it was just like, that was just so amazing. And just sitting back, and it's like, I would have never known that was the last time I told my son I love him. And I was grateful I was able to do that. I mean, I do it all the time to my kids and tell them all the time, but just having that moment with him before, and just he knew I loved him, and just sharing with him, let him know how proud I am of him, was very memorable for me. And that's something I'll always hold in my heart, because you never know. You never know. He, without a hesitation, said he wanted to be an organ donor. So she walks away to go get his ID, and I look at him, I said, "Son, why do you want to be an organ donor? What made you say yeah?" He goes, "Mom, whatever I can do to help somebody, because I know if I needed help, I would like somebody to help me. So whatever I can do to help somebody." So it was no reason for me not to. When the young lady called me, I called her back the next day and definitely told her yeah, because that's just something that's Tonio, his love and nurturing self, he wanted. So I said yes, and I was sitting in surgery, and I opened up the email, and I was just like, I was crying, of course, but it was tears of joy, because that's when I found out 2 young men, 29 and 32, I believe, each received a cornea. And it just filled my heart knowing that, wow, my son still lives on, and he was able to help somebody. And that was one of the best emails that I've received. Antonio's legacy and purpose is love. Definitely love.
John Mama.
Yeah, you can have a brother Joe in 9 days.
Joe Mama.
Sorry, I'm still not sure about that.
Thanks, Lakeisha. I know you're here. So I feel like if we were here in person, we'd be giving you a standing ovation. I'd be giving you a hug. I know James would be giving you a hug. So please accept this virtual hug. And I have seen this multiple times. Otherwise, I think I'd be crying and probably not able to talk. So though Lakeisha and Antonio's story is, of course, very unique to them, I bet there are a lot of elements in their story that you could relate to. One being love, one might be family, and one, of course, donation. Your loved one left a legacy, and coming together to acknowledge that is such a powerful part of honoring them as we grieve. Every day, millions of people die, but only a fraction can leave a legacy through eye and tissue donation, and much less through organs. You are a special group, and Lions World Vision Institute is here to care for you and create opportunities to continue celebrating the life and legacy of your loved one today and throughout the years.
And no matter the outcome of their gift, the fact that one of their final acts on this earth was a generous offering to a stranger is truly remarkable and beautiful. It's a testament to their compassion and kindness, leaving behind a legacy of love and selflessness. Now, I have the pleasure of introducing our second donor tribute video.
Thanks so much for honoring us with those photos. We see your people's names so much, and it really is truly, again, such an honor and privilege to see their pictures and the descriptions.
Yeah, and this was the first year, Rebecca, that we asked the descriptions, and that's wonderful. I mean, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words, and that's absolutely true. I mean, we see these individuals smiling, you know, with their loved ones. A lot of them were, or some of them were holding, you know, babies, toddlers. It's just so moving. And then, but to have you as their loved one, you know, write those descriptions, funny, intelligent, compassionate, kind, and it really does put everything into perspective and makes us see everything clear about this special impact.
Absolutely. So next, we're going to watch a story developed especially for this month's Eye Donation Month. This is a story of a recipient named Danny. Please enjoy.
When you're 19 years old, you kind of feel like you're bulletproof. You know, yeah, I just thought my vision, you know, just like most people just need to have glasses or contacts. Little did I know that, you know, it was going to lead to an eye disease is what I had. I was working at a grocery store as a grocery sacker. I'd had perfect vision my whole life. But I started getting to where I could not see down the grocery aisle and look at the little menu, you know, from the ceiling to see what's on the aisle. I got fitted with some glasses and wore those for about 1.5 years. And then on just a follow-up standard visit with the optometrist, he said, hey, some things I'm seeing requires a specialist. You have keratoconus, to which I was like, I don't know what that is. And he just said, it's an eye disease, and if we do not do surgery within a week, I'm not going to have anything to sew in to do a cornea transplant. After the transplant took place, the doctor said, hey, look, I mean, your graft looks great. You know, we're on the right track. There's going to come a time where we need to do the transplant on the other eye. Since the very first transplant, I appreciate, value, and support organ donation, and my motto is you never lose in life when you make the choice to give. I began to date and eventually got engaged and married. In the process of all this, her father had a kidney disease called polycystic kidneys. He got to the point where he could not hardly function. He was at the point of dialysis. And I mean, I certainly valued and understood what organ donation does. And the cool thing is, he and I are like literally practically the same build, same height, same weight, and just a match. For my wife, certainly an interesting situation because this is her dad and her husband, which we had been married a little over a year at that point. A nervous time, but also hopeful and excited about an opportunity. When they came to get me to roll me back, it was just like the movies. I went down this long hallway, double doors, and I just remember like thinking, okay, I mean, we're in this. Everything went great and surgery was successful. June of 2023 would be 20 years, successful kidney surgery. My father-in-law, we had a great relationship. Anytime we had the opportunity to share our story in his town or wherever, we would do it. I don't really look at myself as some type of a hero. I just see myself as someone that, you know, helped another individual just like I received help. Seeing clearly is more than just through my vision. Seeing clearly has affected me in my experience because it teaches you how to be so much more grateful. I can see clearly now, having received a cornea transplant in my left eye, years later in my right eye, giving to someone else like my father-in-law was an easy choice, and it was a great choice, and it made a difference in his life just like it has made a difference in my life.
Amazing story of Danny's.
Yeah.
Yep.
And just such a great example of donation and that desire that humans have to pay it forward. I think there's just such a natural inclination that when you receive a gift, you want to give a gift. And we see it in his story, and I actually talked to a donor family just today. And his person was a kidney recipient. And then when she passed, she was a cornea donor, sort of similar to Danny's. But yeah, it's just this natural cycle that we seem to want to give.
Yeah, and it's what we saw there was kind of like a ripple effect, because by paying it forward, we not only express our gratitude, but also set into motion a ripple effect of positivity that can impact countless lives. And like Danny said, he knew he needed to register as an organ and tissue donor, and from there on he understood. But and that's the positive thing about donation.
Yeah. So we'd love to hear from you. We're not gonna ignore the chat box, but we're not going to take time away from the program. But we'd love it if you wouldn't mind sharing in the chat box something that you might see clearly now in regards to donation. So we heard from Danny, you heard from us, but is there something that you might see clearly now, again, in regards to donation?
Absolutely, and remember, everything in the chat we have our colleagues viewing it, so they'll be able to interact with you as well. But one of the beautiful things about cornea donation is that a donor's generous gift can help someone nearby, but it can across the country and even around the globe. The US has a strong cornea donation program that meets our local needs, but that's not the case everywhere. When we successfully fill our local cornea transplant needs, we look to other countries. Corneas only last about 2 weeks for transplantation, and we want to make sure that we honor the wishes of donors and their families to help others. There's a significant need of corneas worldwide. Many countries, they lack the resources to support people with vision problems, especially those with genetic conditions. Sight restoring transplant can make a huge difference in their lives. We'd like to share one of those impactful stories with you. And just as an FYI, the narration is a little robotic as the language is being translated, but the heart and soul of this story is there. You'll also hear a call to action at the end of the video. So please note, this is specifically directed to Lions World Vision Institute staff regarding our gratis program.
Yeah, we're real proud to have our gratis program, and it aligns perfectly with our powerful slogan, so the world can see. Through the gratis program, we ensure that corneas are provided to those in need worldwide. This mission drives everything we do, ensuring that financial limitations never prevent someone from receiving the gift of sight.
Faisalabad, Pakistan's third largest city with a population of 3.4 million. Medina Teaching Hospital is one of the leading hospitals here. With well-equipped eye department, having trained ophthalmologists, with a 10,000 outdoor patient monthly. But most of the patients who come here are poor and cannot bear health expenses elsewhere. One such patient is Usama Zaman, resident of Charsada. Charsada is almost 430 kilometers from Faisalabad. But he traveled all this distance in pursuit of hope to have vision. After a year of waiting, he has been finally called for an operation.
My name is Kir Zaman. I am Usama Zaman's father. He is my only son. I also have 3 daughters. He was diagnosed with keratoconus 5 years back. But at that time it was too much advanced. Doctors advised corneal transplant. He lost his sight. He was unable to study. Had to give up studying. He was unable to work, play, pray, or do any normal day activities. We went to several hospitals. Everyone demanded $5,000 to $6,000. We were unable to pay such a large amount. I am Usama Zaman. I am 22 years old. I loved playing cricket and football. But now I am unable to even watch television, or even go out alone. I am a simple shoemaker. How would I have paid that amount? Then we heard about this hospital. All the health facilities here are free. Even corneal transplant. But we had to wait for a year for cornea to come. But now they finally called us for surgery. Hope so it will go fine.
Do you know what this container has? Not just cornea, but hope. Hope to live a normal life. Hope to have a better future. Hope to do all the activities that normal people do. Hope to work. And to fulfill his dreams.
I cannot express my feelings at the moment. I almost thought that I would never be able to see again. But I thank God for this. I am happy for him. And I hope that soon we will be called again for the operation of the other eye. And I hope so these corneas will keep coming, so that people like us can get benefit from it.
So, 2 people on opposite sides of the globe, and yet I think at least what I observed is just so much gratitude. Assam and Danny, just so much gratitude for their newfound vision and for the donor and the donation.
That's true, Rebecca. And many of these recipients, you know, a cornea disease, it just is very spontaneous. Most of them are genetic conditions, and these individuals will simply just wake up one day and their vision, they won't have their vision. It'll be blurry. So imagine not being able to work, not being able to drive, not being able to just live your life naturally. Your lifestyle is gone.
Yeah.
And it's just, and especially like we saw in Pakistan, it took over a year for them. We don't have waiting lists in the US for donated gifts because we're such a giving nation. But the fact that some of these donor heroes are able to help overseas is just outstanding.
Yeah. And so this particular gentleman, it kind of got lost in translation, but he had keratoconus. And so keratoconus is when your cornea becomes like a cone shaped, like if you think about a football, the end of a football. And so there's no contact lens that can help that. And so you just end up, people describe it as like looking through wax paper or looking through really thick fog, or someone said, put Vaseline on your eyeball. That's what it's like to be corneal blind. So that's what happens.
Yeah, and one thing to note too is that not every recovered cornea may have a direct recipient. Along with transplants, cornea donation is also essential for research studies. There are over 12 million people suffering from corneal blindness worldwide, and along with prevention programs, research and training fuels the progress in our ultimate mission, which is to elevate the standards in sight restoration, tissue transplantation, but also research and education. So for those of you whose loved ones' corneas were studied in research, training projects, you really contributed to this mission in a truly significant way, and for that, we are incredibly grateful.
That's right, James. Donated corneas are essential for studies that will ultimately ease cornea transplantation and improve outcomes for recipients like Danny and Assam. The cornea recovery and transplant process has come such a long way since the first surgery in 1905, and yet we have a long ways to go still. I'd like to share a video that highlights the profound impact of donor gifts and how they impact vital research and training efforts. This video illustrates just how transformative these contributions are in advancing our mission. So in our introduction to that video, we talked about, you know, how far we have to go, but I also just want to talk about how far we've come. we were saying that, so cornea transplants, if you need a cornea transplant, there's no waiting list here in the United States, but that's because we did so much great research to make that happen. Before, if you need a transplant, you did have to go on a waiting list. And that's because there is no way to store corneas. Now we have to recover them very quickly. But once we do, we can store a cornea for up to 2 weeks. That's due to the corneas in the past that were donated for training and research purposes. So we are just so truly thankful. So now we'd like to take some time to honor your loved ones in the third and final donor memorial slideshow. I will like to say quickly, if for some reason your loved one was not, or if you came in late, we are recording this, and we will be sending out a link to the recording after this presentation. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Tonight, we have the privilege of hearing powerful stories from both recipients and donor families. These stories not only touch our hearts, but also remind us of the incredible impact that each gift and each human brings. At Lions World Vision Institute, we are always open and eager to hear stories from our community, those who have been given such precious gifts and those whose lives have been transformed by them. It's through sharing these experiences that we continue to honor the legacy of generosity and connection. I'd now like to share a brief video. I hope it inspires you to reach out and share your own story with us, as every voice adds depth to our community and helps us celebrate these extraordinary acts of kindness. So you're going to get this amazing video, or sorry, amazing email, I should say. That was an amazing video, but you're going to get a video. Oh, sorry, an email after this. And there's going to be a link in there that where you can, it'll take you to a form where you can share your story. It'll have your contact information and then some prompt questions. So hopefully if you are interested in doing that, sharing your story and the story of your person, you'll take advantage of that. And yeah, you'll fill it out and then one of us will get in touch with you. So before we close tonight, I want to remind you of all the many community and bereavement resources that we have to offer, including a robust resource page on lwvi.org, the Donor Family Facebook page. Many of you here, I believe, are on that page. This is a private community that allows you to communicate with each other, other families who've gone through similar experiences. It's also a great place to find out about upcoming events. We have virtual gatherings, which are much smaller than this one, and they're different We actually can see each other, like who's in the room, and we talk to each other. It's just a very different type of experience. But we have book clubs, we talk about journaling, things like that. We're actually going to have a series coming up about grief in the holidays. We're going to have 3 of those. But if you're interested in such events, again, you'll find out about them through this amazing email, this follow-up email that you're going to be getting.
Yeah, that's right. And here are a couple of easy first steps you, your family, and friends can take in helping us spread the word about donation. Just start a conversation with your friends and family. You know, sharing your wishes to be a donor is so important. Too often we hear of grieving families who struggle with the decision because they just didn't know and were not aware of what their loved ones would have wanted. Plus, it also helps others to start thinking about how donation can be both healing for families experiencing loss, but also life transforming for people like Danny from the previous video. Then, if you haven't, go ahead and take 2 minutes to register yourself to become a donor at registerme.org, registerme.org.
Yeah, that's right. Having the conversation is such a key step. Registering is a great step, but then talking about it. The conversations are challenging, and we understand the importance of offering support through them. That's why we're creating a webinar designed to help guide you through that end of life conversation with empathy and care. We're going to be sending out more details soon on that. It'll probably happen well, I know it's happening in 2025. And that's a presentation I'm going to be co-hosting with a donor family. We're very excited about it. So please keep an eye out for that invitation. I usually begin each presentation with this particular quote, but tonight I'd like to close with it. It comes from a donor mom whose daughter passed away and gave the incredible gift of corneas and tissue. She said, "I didn't know you can get joy from grief, but you can. You can have two opposing emotions simultaneously." This quote resonates deeply with me because, in my opinion, it captures the essence of the donation experience and the heart of our work in family services. We are here to walk side by side with you through your sorrow, and we're here to honor and celebrate everything your loved one has given on this earth, including the gift of donation. And yes, we can do both. In my 13 years here, I've been profoundly changed by you. I've learned so much about love, connection, community, change, grief, hope, resilience, and most importantly, about how to truly live. It's an honor to walk alongside you on this journey. We hope you enjoyed this special evening in honor of so many of your loved ones. I also want to thank the folks behind the scenes for helping us. Dina, Sarah, Jody, and Justice, and Tanaya, I couldn't have done this without you. Thank you so very much. And James, it has been so wonderful to co-host with you. Will you do this again with me?
Absolutely. It's been such an honor, and it's our honor and pleasure to have been here this evening. And again, to all of you, thank you. We really hope that you find something this evening that brings you peace and comfort. And Lions World Vision Institute wishes you continued peace moving forward. So thank you.
Good night.